Hey guys, welcome back. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, it's a cloudy day, and it's the perfect time to do some planting in the garden. If this is your first year starting seeds indoors and planting them into the garden, then stick around because in today's video, I'm going to be planting out all of the brassicas I started from seed indoors. And in addition to that, I'm going to be showing you how I harden off these beauties before they go into the garden. But before we get started, if you're new here, hi guys, my name is Marsha the Blackthumbgardener, and I live in Ontario, Canada, Zone 5B, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'd love for you to subscribe, and if you're returning, welcome back, and thank you so much for supporting my channel. Now let's get started. So I have my seedlings, so let's head over to the Vego raised bed because that's where we're going to be planting all of the brassicas today. So I started this tray of brassicas on March 13th, and if you want to know how to grow brassicas from seed, I have my ultimate brassica growing guide that I shared on this channel, and I'll link that below in the description. Right now we're at the end of April, and this is the perfect time to get them into the garden. So these tray of seedlings have been hardening off for the past 5 days. And what hardening off is transitioning your seedlings from your indoor environment in your grow room to the outdoor environment. This process slowly gets them accustomed to being outdoors and exposed to full sun. So if you're new to gardening and you're not sure exactly how to harden off your seedlings, then I'm going to show you exactly what I did. I filmed myself every day of the 5 days I harden off these seedlings. It's raw and uncut. It's me in the morning without coffee, without makeup, without anything, showing you exactly what I do to get these seedlings ready for the garden. Hey guys, welcome back. So it's 7:30 in the morning and I'm not polished. I just woke up. I'm getting ready to do a workout, but I thought this would be the perfect day to start hardening off a lot of my brassicas. I still have broccoli in the grow room, some Asian greens, and I have a lot of other plants that I want to get outside right away because today is going to be beautiful. It's going to be 17 degrees, and I want to take advantage of the early morning light. So come with me while we start hardening off my seedlings. Guys, I am really showing you the uncut footage because I have no makeup on. This is me early in the morning. All right, guys, let's go. All right, guys, day 2 of hardening off my seedlings. I'm tired this morning. Yesterday, my seedlings were outside from about 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I tend to harden off my seedlings a little bit later than others. I know some people will wake up at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning as the sun is rising and put their seedlings out. That would be ideal for me, but I'm not that type of person. So they go out a little bit later. So yesterday it was 2 hours. Today I'm probably going to do about maybe 3 to 4 hours. It's supposed to be cloudy late this morning, so I'm going to see what happens. And if it is cloudy, I'll leave them out a little bit later. If not, they'll come in after about maybe 3 to 4 hours right before noon. All right, guys, see you tomorrow. Okay guys, day 3 of hardening off my seedlings. It's about 5 to 8 a.m. or 8:55. No, it's about 7:55. Where am I at? It's early, guys. I haven't had coffee yet. So yesterday I had my seedlings out for about 3 hours. I think I brought them in at 11:30 a.m., so before noon. Today is supposed to be really cloudy, so I'm probably going to have them out majority of the day. If the sun does break in the afternoon, then I'm probably going to bring them in around 2 p.m. So not exposure to full sun the entire afternoon. And then we'll repeat our session again tomorrow. So on that note, see you tomorrow. It's hailing! Oh my gosh. Hey guys, day 4, it's about 8:06 or 8:15, something like that in the morning. It's raining today and I'm still gonna leave my seedlings out because I want them to get a bit of rainwater. I love putting them out when it rains. And yesterday the seedlings were out until 2:30 p.m. and I brought them in because it was pretty sunny in the afternoon, so no clouds. But today I think we're having a cloudy day. It's supposed to rain all day, and that's a good thing, so I'm going to leave the seedlings out pretty much for the whole day. I'll see how it goes. Maybe I might bring them in if storms start to come, but that's it. Day 4. That's a wrap. See you tomorrow. Okay guys, we are on day 5. It's gonna be a beautiful sunny day today. Last night the seedlings were out until 7:30 p.m. and yesterday was a rainy day, and then in the part of the afternoon the sun started to peek out a bit, and I just left the seedlings out so they can dry up and then brought them inside. Today will be the first day they're spending outside overnight. And then from then on, they'll just be outside until I plant them. I also yesterday brought out some, I think it was yesterday, some dianthus and some poppies. Now I will be treating them like they're at the beginning of my hardening off process. So they'll stay outside for a few hours and then they'll go inside. So as I bring new seedlings out from the basement, I continue my hardening off process starting on day 1 and just keeping track of what I put outside and what needs to come inside before noon, etc. So I hope you guys enjoyed this process. Back to planting those brassicas. Now that we're back, let's get these seedlings into the garden. So this spring, I'm going to be planting my brassicas in this 9-foot Vego raised bed garden. I actually planted my brassicas there in the fall and they did really well. Now, if we look at this area of the garden, this is my main raised bed area. I have 6 raised beds in this space. And last spring, I planted all of my brassicas in this tiny raised bed. Now, the difference between these two areas is that my Vego raised bed area gets morning sun and afternoon shade, and my main raised bed area where I planted my brassicas last spring, that gets full sun. And what I found last year is that some of my brassicas went to seed pretty quickly because, you know, we're in spring, the temperatures heat up really quickly, and I usually harvest my brassicas in June. I plant them late April and I harvest them around mid-June. And by the time June arrives, it's really hot in this backyard. So I am going to plant it in the shady areas this season just because I think they do well planted in this Vego raised bed. The other reason is that this Vego raised bed has a high pH. For those of you who saw my soil test a few videos back, I tested all of the raised beds in my garden and the Vego raised bed had a very high pH. I did amend it with elemental sulfur, but I'm going to be planting both brassicas and asparagus in this bed because I think these are the only crops that will be able to manage being in a high pH bed. Everything else needs a neutral or more acidic pH, so this is going to be the bed for this season. And the third reason why I'm planting brassicas in this bed is because brassicas are not companion plants when it comes to members of the Solanum family. So this is your peppers, tomatoes, potatoes, and your eggplant. They do not do well with those crops, and because I'm saving my full sun area for those crops, I'm going to be planting my brassicas in this space. So this bed has already been amended, like I said before, with elemental sulfur to deal with the pH issue. I've also added blood meal because when I did the soil pH test, I also realized that I had high potassium, high phosphorus levels, but very low or depleted nitrogen. So I've already amended this bed. I've also added compost and worm castings to the bed. So the only thing that's left to do is plant. So I'm going to pop these seedlings out of their tray. I have no idea where I'm going to put them, but I'm just going to wing it today. Okay guys, this is my spacing, and I have everything close together just because this is the only brassica bed this season, and I just like to max out and get the most out of my harvest. So right in this bed in the corner, I have lacinato kale. So I'm expecting that to kind of come up and out. Then in this bed, I have Atlantis broccoli. This is a mix between a broccoli plant and I want to say a kale or asparagus. I think it's a mix of broccoli and kale. And then alternating, I have the Atlantis broccoli. And then I also have gypsy broccoli. This is my favorite broccoli variety. It has your classic broccoli head. And then another Atlantis broccoli. And then another gypsy broccoli. And then on the end here, I have red boar kale. Then over here on the corner, I have Brussels sprouts. So I have two here. This one is Nordic Brussels sprouts. I'm thinking to do just one and that should be good enough. But you know I'm extra, I'm gonna do two. Then in the middle, I have cauliflower. So this is Clarify cauliflower. The tag is actually right here. They all look the same. That's why I have to have tags. Then I have, these are the purple cauliflowers. Here's a tag, purple cauliflower. That's gonna be fun. And then along the back row, I have Atlantis broccoli. And that's my planting setup. So let's get started. Okay guys, the brassicas are planted. They look so good. I just love seeing brassicas when they're tiny seedlings in the raised bed because they just look, I don't know, it just makes me happy to see this. They are finally in. The bed is looking really nice, but we still have some work to do. We have the asparagus seedlings that are here and they're not looking really good. I've had them outside for a while, so let's get these planted as well. And that's it. We have our bed of asparagus on the end and then all of our brassicas. I also want to mention that I did plant dill in this bed. I think I planted it in this section right here. Dill is a great companion plant with brassicas. You can also plant, I think chamomile, mint, rosemary are also great companion plants with brassicas. So when it comes to pests, there are three main pests that I deal with, and the first is the cabbage worm. I think the best way to deal with that pest is just to cover your beds with a hoop and mesh system. I usually have a super hoop that I set up after I plant my brassicas. I haven't seen the cabbage moth anywhere, so I think I'm okay for now, and I have to bring my son to school, so I'll do that later on. The other way that you can deal with the cabbage worm is to spray your beds with BT. It is an organic way of dealing with it, but I personally don't like to spray anything in my beds if I can get away with it. So I just think using a mesh and hoop system works much better. The second pest that I deal with are roly-polies. I think this is probably harder than all of the pests to deal with just because I don't really have an effective way of dealing with them. So right now I put out orange slices if I see a lot of them, or I'll put half of a potato, and that kind of works, but is not a great way of dealing with them. So if you have a better way of dealing with roly-polies, let me know in the comments. And the third one is pretty bad, and that one is a slug. Slugs or snails, but mainly slugs are what I deal with in my garden. Now, to deal with slugs, you can put out diatomaceous earth, which I will use if it's really bad, or you can put out a beer trap. That's also very effective. There is a product they sell in Canada called Slug Be Gone. I will never use that product in my raised beds. It's not an organic product. Like in the US, I think you have Sluggo, which is an organic product, but we don't have that in Canada, and the only other product we have is Slug Be Gone. I'm not sure if there's another product out there, but I think the best way is to either use diatomaceous earth, or you can use the beer traps. Now, I wasn't planning on watering these beds because it's supposed to be raining right now, and I think there's like a 50% chance of rain. So I'm gonna water these beds in and then we'll be done. That's it, guys. We are all done with planting our brassicas. I'm gonna flip the camera around so you can see what the garden looks like. This is a quick pan of what the garden looks like right now. Just a quick diversion over to this area right here. Guys, the daffodils, they are just showing out. Just look at them. They look so pretty. I think my favorite this season is the tete-a-tete that we planted last fall. These guys are just gorgeous. And then I think these are some doubles. Oh my gosh. Love it. Then we have this bed that we direct sowed a lot of spring crops. We have radishes, spinach, lettuce, arugula in this bed. We also planted our onions along the side, and look at that, guys. They're all starting to come in. We also have the garlic bed that we planted last fall, looking really good. I've already fed this bed and it's just growing like crazy. And then over here, we have our pea station, and we also planted some radishes, carrots, spinach here. Look, guys, the radishes are coming in. So exciting. Of course, we have our onions that we planted in the last video. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it down below because I go through my tips and tricks on how to grow the biggest bulbs this season. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I have to run inside and make a coffee before I bring this kid to school. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. As soon as I got inside, it started to rain. Look at that. Well, I guess the seedlings will get extra water today.